quick promo before we get started.
Yes,
Thursday,
sir.
November 19th. We're having at the Tiny Cupboard.
At the Tiny Cupboard.
You guys, the Bushwick Bears are back. A live in-person show.
A potentially one-time live show, November 19th at the Tiny Cupboard.
And if you
8
don't know what
p.m.
that is, it is not a tiny cupboard. That would be extremely COVID unsafe. It is a large rooftop, open air, all the stuff you need to hear.
We are back in
safe.
Bushwick. We haven't been in Bushwick.
It's in Bushwick. It's
Oh,
in
true.
like a year almost.
There are
It's been a year since we've been in Bushwick. Since we did a
Jesus
show
Christ,
in Bushwick.
Yeah.
There's a limited number of tickets. We'll post all the links to the Eventbrite and everything. But it's socially distanced. Everyone's wearing masks. It's on a roof. It's outdoors. It's going to be a fucking killer lineup. It's going to be great. It's not going to be too cold. It's going to be
beautiful.
It's
Beautiful.
been beautiful. Yeah,
Baby,
it's been absolutely beautiful.
Back live action comedy before the next round of shutdowns.
Yeah, this is the last great show you're going to see before the shutdowns, before Thanksgiving. Go home, tell your family how much you fucking love our show.
All right, let's start the podcast.
Oh, no. They say he's got to go Godzilla. Yeah.
What is
Godzilla.
Is that a Godzilla theme song?
No, it's a Blue Oyster Cult.
Oyster Cult.
Had one of their biggest hits was just a song about Godzilla.
Damn,
Yeah.
this is
With
all
the
stuff
business there, then a
Fu
Bills
Manchu
man,
covered it.
this is man with the Bills man.
I never heard that before.
It's a great
You've
song.
never heard that
I know
song?
Blue Oyster
Godzilla.
Cult, yeah.
Usually I'm the one who doesn't know the song.
Well, you know what? I'm only slightly younger than you guys, but I had to catch up to all this stuff when I came to America. You know?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a little different.
I did good, and
different
some of it made it to Russia also. That's kind of interesting as like the American
what
media.
stuff that made it?
Yeah.
Like what was it? What was something that stands out that you knew of when you were little?
Well, like in America, my dad listened to like Queen, Beatles, Zeppelin, Deep Purple was probably one of his top.
They were
like,
allowed, you guys, they were allowed to listen to that then?
well, I don't know. It started loosening up. When Gorbachev took over, like he started loosening, but people didn't know anything for sure.
Yeah.
But also, here's a crazy one. This is something he told me about, and then somebody sent me the article. I'm like, oh wow, he wasn't making this up. But they would take X-rays and they would put songs onto them. Like literally, they're made of vinyl, like vinyl records, and they had machines, and it was like black market. They would use X-rays, and someone sent me an article, and it was literally what he called it, translated in direct English, which was like "dance on your bones" or something like that, and like that was the slang name for these records. And it's you could
they
see it.
etch vinyl onto like actual physical X-rays. And
See,
then
that's what we need to learn as a society. We've had it too good.
It's how to survive in a dystopian.
Yeah, actually,
society.
yeah. It's like, I mean, like I have a real problem with the level of consumerism that I engage in, and I don't think of anything to do. Like I'm a very boring, uninteresting person right now, and I want to put music on X-rays. I want to be forced into creativity.
There are a couple guys that work out of Tucson that do like live vinyl pressing, basically.
Yeah.
So like a band will play live.
Oh,
and they'll go directly.
Jack White
into,
does that.
Yeah. These guys do that. They were in New York. They were working like a Beyonce after party or something, and like pressing like. But it's like
Wow.
They've done some cool stuff, but yeah, they can put it like.
Oh, so they got it on permanent record, her being a bitch and ordering drinks?
What do you
didn't
mean? Is
say
that
anything.
a Beyonce story?
No, I don't know. She just seems, I don't like anybody who's in the Bayhive or who is like, all these white women who are like, I stand Beyonce. And like whenever Beyonce does anything looks left or whatever, they're like, uh-oh, big mood. Like those type of like that whole culture that surrounds that.
So are you against Beyonce or her followers or both?
I think
her
it's just the
followers,
latter, right?
But I mean, like also too, it's just the latter. I don't know her personally.
She's right. She's a celebrity. She's obviously very talented. She, to also be fair, has a giant team of people writing her music.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's kind of talented.
Oh no. She's
definitely talented.
She's talented and
yeah,
she's
but
got
so
that
are
work
homeless
ethic.
people in the
No,
fucking
but
subway.
she's talented. She does have a great.
Are you
team.
comparing Beyonce to a homeless person?
Okay,
I am.
He went there.
I'll tell you what. The point of someone's art, right? Like, we'll take Beyonce's record, Okay, her latest big record.
Right.
Right, all the production and everything like that went into it, and all that sort of stuff is respectable. The craftsmanship and everything, the intent behind it is no more important to me than like a child drawing something, or like a person with Down syndrome drawing a crayon picture, because it's
that's not an insult to Beyonce. It's a compliment to the child and the Down syndrome person.
It's like the
They are
intent
artists.
behind it is equally important, right? So all you're really buying when you buy Beyonce is a lifestyle choice, like a manufactured product. There's more that goes into that. The actual value of the art is, to me, it's I mean, it's okay.
I don't
It's
know.
fine.
You
It's
just-
negligible to me because
You just like art. You like all forms of art, is what you're saying.
sure, yeah.
I get what you're saying. It's a product. It's a carefully curated product. But I think that still takes art. I mean, I'll go so far as to say like your iPhone is art in some ways, in the same way that Beyonce is art. Because iPhones are pretty dope, and Beyonce is pretty dope. Like you can the
They're
songs
both,
sound
they're all,
good.
It's all made by slaves. All of Beyonce's
I don't know. I think Beyonce's
manufactured music. All
crew
of
is
it.
I think-
probably well paid.
I,
No,
was
but
gonna
no,
say,
I
her
guess my-
team's, pretty well paid.
I guess my point is like I don't respect her intent anymore than I respect anybody else's.
What do you mean by intent there, though?
Like the intent of your art. Like if I'm gonna sit there and write what is ever the most meaningful thing to me ever, right? I'm gonna write like this
Like a
500
good dick
page
joke.
like this 500 page novel or whatever the case may be. The intent there to put out this like artwork and what it says about me or whatever, is no more important than somebody who isn't nearly as capable or doesn't have the tools as such, but like they're also pouring their heart and soul out into whatever medium it is. So while it's not executed as well, the intent behind it.
But you know what the difference is? It's as important to them as Beyonce's work may be important to her, but Beyonce's is also important to like millions of other people, and nobody else gives a shit about the drawing of the homeless guy.
I do. I care more about that.
You're
And that's the thing is other
You're just
people
very
should.
empathetic, and other people just
should.
want to move their butts to Beyonce.
Well, welcome to the Bushwick Bears podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
I
No,
can't
I'm just saying,
believe
for as bad as a consumer as I am, at least I'm not one of you idiots at home.
in the Bay High. I mean, I think
That was
there's like
that was Derek Humphrey.
there's like
That was me, and I'm
idolatry.
talking to you, wife.
And I'm
Oh,
well. I was gonna say.
I shouldn't listen to this.
I
No,
was-
she doesn't get.
I was gonna say, it's weird. I find myself in the position to stick up for Beyonce, but I'm like, but this is gonna score points with my wife. Beyonce is all about the wives. That's really what it's about. They get the
Yeah.
wives.
I'm not married, so maybe that's why it doesn't affect me that much.
You have
It
to be your
doesn't
own
affect me.
wife and like Beyonce.
I think now that
Come on, Dick, do it with us. No, come on, don't pretend you
that's what she does
like
in
you
the
don't
song,
know
right?
the dance, like you don't know how the legs move
Is that
and the
Single
heels.
Ladies?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, single ladies.
Why are
what's
you doing
funny?
the Downs guy?
You know what's funny? You know what's so funny to me? You guys, I don't know if you guys have this affect you, and I'm going to open up now. I'm going to be very real and sincere, and I don't know if I'm going to regret this or not, but I don't care anymore.
None of it matters.
Seeing a kid with Down syndrome do anything makes me cry.
Yeah, I mean,
I
no,
cry-
that's the whole thing. Yeah, that gets me too.
I cry the two things on the internet. If I need a good cry, I can just go on YouTube, and if I find anything with Down syndromes or stuff with dads around, gets me.
Oh yeah, Dad's coming home from overseas.
Oh, there was people with Down syndrome like falling in love with other people with Down syndrome.
Yeah,
Oh, it just makes me cry. There's a
No.
whole thing.
people
No,
with
that
Down
doesn't-
syndrome draining 3-pointers.
That doesn't do it.
the
3-pointers I might be impressed by. People with Down syndrome falling in love does not like good for them. But
Yeah.
like I don't know. I imagine
It's
that
no
and I'm
better.
like
It's no better than Beyonce falling in love.
no way she gets an album that comes out of it.
Yeah.
No, man, like
I don't want to. Well, that's what I mean, though. I don't want to watch Beyonce like staring and kissing with Jay-Z as much as I don't want to watch two Down syndrome people. That's their business.
No,
You know what I mean?
I can see that, but no,
I mean,
but like,
we're happy that they're happy.
no,
Yeah,
just like
exactly, like
even,
anybody else.
Peanut Butter
It's
Falcon.
not content. Sorry,
Did you watch
what?
the Peanut Butter Falcon,
Mm-mm.
the Shia
No.
LaBeouf movie with the kid who has Down syndrome?
No, I know
Shia
about
LaBeouf plays a kid with
No,
Down
no,
syndrome?
no.
No.
He's his
I wish he
co-star
did.
is a kid with actual Down syndrome.
Yeah, I wouldn't put
Look
it
out,
past him.
Bumblebee.
Yeah.
No, but like I teared up. I mean, I teared up at the movie, obviously, but I teared up more in the interviews, like hearing Shia LaBeouf talk about, like, someone asked, well, how do you handle, like, because this is a deeply personal movie for you, like, how do you handle criticism of the movie? And Shia LaBeouf's like, I don't care, but I'm just scared that Zach might see it. Zach's
Yeah.
the kid with Down syndrome,
Yeah.
and I'm scared how that would affect him, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how much I like or buy that I like why. But why say that publicly? It feels like he's patting himself on the back for being a hero for this kid.
I mean, he might be, but
If he really doesn't care, why is he putting it on him? So that what if he hears that? What if he hears like, I'm fine, I'm just worried about this Downs guy's feelings,
I
you
don't know
know?
if the
What if
Downs guy
Shia
would-
I don't
LaBeouf
like
made
that
a
he said
really
that.
bad movie, and then all these online haters bullied this guy with Down syndrome? Then it's like you should care more.
Well, I
Yeah.
don't know if Shia LaBeouf ever has made a bad movie.
Ah.
I don't know. It's like
I've
an
seen
oxymoron. I don't know if
Transformers.
it's
I
true.
was going with the other end where like if the Downs go over hears him and is like, I saw your fucking shit, it sucked, you know?
I'm a huge Shia LaBeouf fan. I'm just gonna say.
No, he's pretty cool. I like
You know
a
what?
bunch of shit that he does.
I just, you know what? Do you ever have selective memory stuff with like someone you like? You don't. I notice a lot of people do, especially like this political season. You can be like, oh, well, I don't care that he's openly racist. He did good things for the economy. You know,
Yeah.
like I do that with like
or you just
celebrities.
forget,
Or
like
you
not even that
forget
you don't
stuff.
care, you
Yeah,
just
you
claim it didn't happen.
Because like right now, I was just in my head. I was really like, what?
On both sides.
I was like, what has Shia LaBeouf done that I didn't like? And I was like, there's nothing. And then I was like, oh wait, fucking-
Transformers,
that
right? That was
that's
him.
fine.
That was a
Transformers
horrible.
1 was good.
It
No,
was
and that's the one he
terrible.
was in.
Transformers 2 was
No, but
bad.
I
You
did
know-
not
you know what's
stick around
worse?
for the rest.
What?
And I'm all about
You're a
transparency.
boof boy, but
I'm a boof. I am definitely a boof boy.
Don't say what's the other one? Don't say Honey Boy. I like that one.
No, Honey Boy's
I
good.
never heard of that.
Yeah.
No,
Honey Boy's
that's the
good.
one he wrote, and
It's
I
about
think he
his dad.
directed it. It's about his dad.
Yeah.
I want to see this latest one where he like plays a cholo.
Oh yeah, it looks.
Oh,
cool.
It
he
looks
got all
cool.
those tattoos. For,
That tattoo's real. The one on his chest is
yeah,
real.
and he
got
doesn't even
that.
show it in the movie.
He doesn't even show it. In the movie. He just
Really?
got it. That's so funny.
Yeah. Hey, what you were saying?
Oh no, I just remembered a blemish on his career.
What?
Fucking Indiana Jones 4.
Oh yeah, Kingdom of the Crystal
Kingdom
Skull.
of the Crystal Skull.
Did I
Yeah.
not see it?
That was like you
a
don't need to.
I think that's one I erased from my memory.
Right?
The
You
way
just
people
erased it.
politically.
It's so funny because the cast is like outrageous.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett, John Hurt.
Yeah.
You know, like
Harrison Ford, Shia LaBeouf, and
Margot. Not
yeah,
Margot.
not Margot Kidder.
Yeah, it is Margot Kidder, isn't it?
No, because Margot Kidder I think died or went crazy
Yeah.
before.
Was
that.
Sean
no,
Connery
this is the
in it?
one that went crazy.
Sean Connery wasn't in it,
maybe.
was he?
No,
No,
he was
he
in
wasn't.
3.
But
No, I know that,
Well,
but I was
because
wondering-
Indiana Jones 1, 2, and 3 are perfect films.
Yeah,
They're great.
movies.
All three of them are
Yeah.
so good.
But
I tried to write a joke. This was years ago, and I abandoned shit before it ever became anything. But I just thought the premise is so funny, like to me, that like what is a good guy and what is a bad guy, right? And if you watch Indiana Jones, that motherfucker murks like 50 people in that movie.
yeah, but those people
Steals
are
artifacts.
Nazis,
steals artifacts.
Some of them
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Well, it's like killing Nazis. That's cool. We can all get behind that. Like that's what our granddads did, and I'm okay with it. But like, not even that. Just like the dudes in Cairo, like that dude with the sword, he just shoots.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you're like
yeah.
he's just murdering. That scene where the guy comes out with the sword, he just.
Oh, he like does the fancy thing, and
Yeah.
then the joke is that he
He
just
shoots
shoots
him,
him. Yeah.
Those are perfect.
It's
I
a
mean,
fun
that was
gag.
worth the joke.
It's a
though.
great gag. It is
But that
worth
guy
the
had
joke.
artistry, and he was literally like the cheap shot where
Yeah.
like they get you with the knife in the shoe.
Yeah.
Except he just won. History is written by the victors. Indiana Jones
That's
was the
true.
bad guy the whole time.
He was the bad guy the whole time.
And he's a historian, right?
an archaeologist.
Archaeologist.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Well, that was the genesis for that show Cobra Kai. Was somebody made a video
Right.
about how Daniel LaRusso was actually the bully in that show, and then they saw that and they were like, "That's a good premise. Let's like catch up with where Johnny Lawrence is now and all that sort of stuff." That show is
it's very
my
good.
wife watched it. She
my wife and I and she hasn't seen the original movies, but it's enough context and stuff. She gets it,
but. It's a fun watch.
It's great, and what's really, you know what? Are you guys caught up? How far along are you?
I've watched both seasons.
I haven't finished the second season.
We have one episode left in the second season, but you did start the second season.
Yes.
So the thing that bothers me about it a little bit, I'll say, is that my favorite thing probably about the show, generally speaking, is that like the first season was such a good there's not. Danny LaRusso wasn't really the bad guy. It was almost like a tragedy. There is no bad guy.
Yeah,
but it's these different perspectives of viewing the world where they cause like conflict. But in the second one, they bring in what's his name, the older
Cree,
and he's
Cree.
just an '80s the two-dimensional bad guy,
or
so
a cool dude. Depending
on who the victor is that writes the history.
Johnny Lawrence in that show is like not politically correct or whatever, and he listens to heavy metal and stuff.
That's one of the jokes.
And Jess was watching it and she was like, "You are this guy." I was like, man, because he's like taking this young guy to bars and showing him how to pick up chicks without social media and stuff, and I'm like, that's a good point.
It's crazy because I went back and I did watch Karate Kid 1, Karate Kid 2. I didn't even know there was a Karate Kid 3.
The one in Japan, right?
No, that
was 2.
2's in Japan.
So 3, I'm gonna watch it. I haven't got around to watching it.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, but I'm gonna watch it because it's like
there's a fourth one too.
Well, the fourth one is with Hilary Swank, right?
Yeah,
where there's like a whole
with
new
Will
Karate
Smith's kid.
No, that's
a reboot.
That's a reboot. With Jackie Chan as Mr. Miyagi.
Chan.
Right.
Yeah.
Did anybody see that?
No.
I love Jackie Chan.
You love Jackie Chan.
I don't like, was it Jaden Smith?
Yeah.
It
was just like, who needs to see a redo? The first one was like perfect.
It's weird. It's weird when Hollywood does this shit where it's like, it doesn't make any sense to me because, well, I mean, all this is pre-COVID. We'll see what happens afterwards. It's like there are really creative, talented young people writing original shit out there. But for some reason, Hollywood's like, oh, let's remake a perfect movie.
You know what?
Money's the reason.
I know
the money's the reason. But I there's a book out now. I forget what the fuck it's called. And I was listening to the author on a podcast, and he said the reason why is because people, the whole franchise that really started this was the Harry Potter franchise, because people want to go to the movies and buy a brand. They don't want to buy art. They don't want to buy adventure or anything.
Can I get this? Can I clear something up here?
We're getting into Beyonce territory.
You're saying that Harry Potter's not art?
Not at this point. I mean, it's marketed to consumers. That's why you have these prequel movies that, from what I hear from Harry Potter people, aren't even that good.
But
they're just like watching them because, like, yeah. So that's why. So the thing is, like, all right. So the cost to make like an Avengers movie is the marketing cost behind making an Avengers movie and making Manchester by the Sea is the same, right?
Yeah.
However,
the cost to market the movie.
To market the movie. But the cost of the movie making itself, like say Manchester by the Sea, I think it costs like $40 million to make. Like,
and then half that's everyone's salary.
Right, and then it's cost like another $30 million to market, we'll say, right? However, Avengers costs $80 million to make or whatever, $30 million to market, but it's going to bring $1 billion back because,
and it's what funds like 10 other Manchesters by the Sea if the director gets a deal or something where he gets. Yeah,
for sure. But I don't know. That's not exactly what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this trend to like remake perfect movies, like they remade Old Boy, right?
They remade Point Blank.
Oh, really?
Point Break.
They remade Point Break, which is arguably my favorite movie of all time. I haven't seen the remake because I don't want to. What's the point? It was so perfect.
Right.
Point Blank. Which one
Point
is that?
Break.
Point Break.
Oh, Point Break.
Yeah,
Point
it's
Break,
fucked up.
yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking Gross Point Blank.
But yeah, they
Um,
remade that. And Old Boy, the original Old Boy was one of the movies. Like I remember the first time I saw Old
That's
Boy.
a freaky fucking movie.
Yeah, I threw my remote at the TV when I finally caught the twist, you know, and then to like watch that with like in a Spike Lee directed movie with Josh Brolin, no thanks.
Yeah. Was it? Oh, Gus Van Sant made he made a shot-for-shot remake of Psycho.
Yeah,
You know, he
I
basically
think I heard about that.
yeah, with Vince Vaughn and Anne Heche, he basically did a fat Jew, whereas like he took the original property,
yeah.
repurposed it, said it was his, but it's just the same exact content.
Same shots,
was.
right?
I
That's
wonder if
kinda
there's
weird.
any movies that they made a remake of like
And it
an
was
average
better?
movie and it was better because like they made a remake of Red Dawn. To me, the '80s Red Dawn is again a damn near close to perfect movie.
Trying to think of a remake
that was
that is
better.
better than
Well, because I could see like
Schindler's.
you know why
No.
you know why Stanley Kubrick and Stephen
Birth
King.
of a Nation.
Oh wow, Getting deep there, buddy.
Was that a remake?
Well, I heard the new one.
you're
They
requesting-
did make a remake of that, right?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
they didn't make a remake. They
They-
just called. There's two movies, but they're completely polar
Oh.
opposite sides of you.
Roots 2, Electric Boogaloo.
No, but like wait, what the fuck was I just gonna say? I don't remember. I just lost.
If
it.
there was a remake where it's better than the original, I could see an
Oh, I
argument for
remember.
that because of something where maybe if the original is long enough ago that they were just really far from
Well, I think
having
they
the
tried it-
technology to do it.
Yeah, they tried to do that with like 310 to Yuma, which the remake was okay, but the original was just okay.
Get it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, I'm
But
trying to think of another
here's
one.
Stanley Kubrick or Stephen King hated Stanley Kubrick. They beefed hard,
Yeah,
and even though I think Stanley Kubrick did, well, because you know what
he
Stanley,
did The Shining.
he did The Shining, yeah. But you know what he said in an interview?
If we're throwing hands,
What?
I'm going with Kubrick. I'm on Team Kubrick there.
I'm team Stephen King. I've gotten more enjoyment in my life
Oh,
overall
no.
than Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
I'm
I
Team
do
Judy
like-
Bloom.
No, but what
go
he's
on.
Stanley Kubrick in a movie asked, he said he was like, yeah, all I do is I take mediocre novels and turn them into excellent movies. And he said that after he had made The Shining.
Right. Shots fired.
Oh, Cape Fear, the Martin Scorsese one.
Yeah, versus the one in
Versus the Robert Mitchum.
the
one.
Robert Mitchum one. I think you might be right. I
Maybe,
do like
but
the
here's the
Robert
thing.
Mitchum one.
All these movies I've been watching. I was texting with Justin Perez actually. I've been watching like old movies, like 70s spy thrillers, like 3 Days of the Condor,
Oh, fun.
Parallax View, and stuff like that. And I'm watching these and like watching movies that were made like before 1980
Yeah.
is like reading a book. And like it's just
I disagree
it's
so
just
much.
it's some of them can get to be so boring. Some of them are still perfect and everything like that, but it's like it requires so much concentration and everything.
I
and
think it depends on the movie.
It does depend on the movie, but a lot of those, and you're kind of sitting there thinking like, man, I bet they could like update this a little bit, make it a little bit smarter, make it more tense, have some of the music come. But the thing is, though, is like it just misses the original authenticity of it.
I watched Citizen Kane not that long ago on a flight,
Yeah.
and it's excellent. It holds up really, really
Well,
well.
yeah. Anytime that there's something that's arguably the best that it's ever been.
Fair
There is
enough.
some
I picked a pretty specific.
I watched. You know what?
sample.
You know what? I'll give you. You know what was kind of like that for me, Derek? That it was. It took me 2 flights to finish it because the flight is some of the only times where I'll watch movies that like, I'll watch this.
Right.
Casablanca. It took me 2
Never
times
seen it.
to get.
Well,
through
that's
it.
also supposed to be. I also haven't seen it, but it's also supposed to be like Citizen Kane level.
Yeah,
whatever.
it can be a little boring, but there's some fucking great older movies, like some cool shit. I just wonder, like, Hollywood's really weird right now, and I think the superhero movies have kind of done a good job where they're giving a lot of like interesting people mega platforms, like James Gunn.
Yeah.
He did Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, and he's doing the new Suicide Squad movie, which looks
He is. He's allowed
fucking
to.
awesome.
He's allowed to go back
they
to work.
brought him back. They realized they're like,
Yeah.
me too. How about fuck you? We need this guy.
Yeah.
For some tweet he said to his friend like 12 years ago.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
crazy.
He like called his friend.
Yeah,
Well, that
it
was
like,
like
that was like a
satirical writing.
yeah.
and that one was like a conservative hit job, I think, right? Like
Yeah.
it was like conservatives being like, "Oh yeah, we can play this game," and they just made a bunch of outrage over like jokes about pedophilia,
Yeah.
which is like, you know what? I just realized that has become kind of more taboo. I guess maybe I was young enough where like it was like high school where pedophiles were only a joke because
They were so seldom.
it wasn't even possible because you weren't adults yet, really. So you just didn't even think in that kind of thing. It just felt like a joke about old people. And so I feel like we make jokes about fucking kids all the time. Like
Yeah.
that was like funny to joke about, and now it's
Yeah.
like not the same.
now those people show up at our Zoom shows.
Well, hey. Nobody
that makes it
patri
difficult.
spiritus sancti.
You know, well the
I was gonna, Doug Stanhope on No Refunds has like the best pedophile joke I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And basically, the I'm not gonna do it because I won't do it justice. But the crux of it is like, no matter how much you want to believe that your kid is very fuckable,
Oh, right,
nobody
yeah.
wants to fuck your ugly ass kid.
Right.
well, I think that maybe it's wait, you think we're doing like it's more frowned upon to do pedophile jokes now, or it's more accepted?
I think it's both, maybe a little bit more hacky because it's been
How
such
can
a
it be
thing.
both if it's either
Well,
one or the
no.
other?
Sorry, I was gonna say I think it's both more frowned upon.
Sure.
Just because now, I mean, people are a little bit more sensitive in general, I feel like, when it comes to jokes. But then on top of that, it's kind of played itself out a little bit. Like, unless it's really creative.
My suspicion behind that is because there's a vast global network of pedophiles
A cabal.
funded
don't
by
want-
the
they don't want you
Democratic
making-
Party.
Oh, it's
Um,
not the people that, like, are sensitive that don't want you joking about pedophiles. It's the sensitive pedophiles that don't want you joking about pedophiles.
I think it's just entered the cultural vernacular so much where we've elected 2 presidents who have been seen with a global billionaire pederast.
I can't believe you just said that. I was literally, as you were saying that, I was like, you know what? I fucking love the word pederast.
Yeah.
People don't use that, and in
I like to
Russian,
use it.
the word is pidaras. And so it's like,
Peter ass?
it's peder. I mean, it literally translates to pederast.
Peter in the ass.
It's just pronounced slightly different, but it's pederast.
Yeah.
But it feels to me extra funny because before I learned English, that was also the word for pedophiles was
Yeah.
pederast, and nobody uses peder. I love that you just used it.
Thank you. I'm a genius.
I mean, it's just way
No,
beyond
I
what
like-
anyone
I
thought
like
your
how you said it
vocabulary.
in our group text. You're like, I'm genius.
I'm genius. Yeah. I said I'm genius. But
that felt like a personal dig at me, but
No.
we'll talk about it later.
no, not at all. No, but
But
I
no,
mean,
I was so speaking of QAnon is that what
yes,
it's
brother.
Do the handshake.
called? Do that.
Is that the cue?
I have no idea what it.
How do you guys feel about this election? Huh? Your guys' boy lost.
Wait.
First of all-
Biden lost.
First of all-
whoa.
Nothing's happened
News
yet.
to
First
me.
of all.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it's not official yet.
Yeah, it's not official yet. I got yelled at for not being more incensed, emotional, and then happy that Biden won. I got yelled at by a couple different people, mainly my wife. We got
Why
into a
didn't you
huge-
celebrate? We went out and we drank. It's a good time.
I didn't. Well, I don't drink, so I wasn't gonna celebrate that.
Right.
Anyways, but like, I woke up and I saw. I this whole time have been expecting Trump to win. So when I woke up and I scrolled through Twitter and I saw Joe Biden is leading, they're still counting votes. All the votes are mail-in, and wink, wink, most of those votes are going towards Joe Biden, which is true because
Yeah.
like most of the Democrats that I talked to have voted.
Well, that's why Trump went after the mail so hard, is they knew that. That's
Oh,
what
he
was
knew
gonna
that was
happen.
coming. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so I saw it, and I was like,
that blew my mind when he said that publicly.
yeah.
I was like, that's supposed to be between you and your guys. You're not
Right.
supposed to say that out loud.
Right.
You're giving away your plan.
But the thing is, though, is one, he's a government agitator, Trump in and of himself. Two, I anticipated him to win. So when I saw Joe Biden was winning and that it was looking like he was going to win, I was like, woke up and I was like in a chipper mood because I don't really care for Donald Trump. It would be cool if he were gone.
Now your tone is changing.
I mean, if I have to be honest,
you're a fair weather fan.
No, it's not so much that. I also
he's not actually a Trump
I'm
fan.
also
People are going to listen to this. They don't know the full context.
Yeah, now my neighbors think I'm a Trump guy because my wife was yelling at me as
because
if
he wears
I was.
that Klan hood all the time.
No.
Just because I'm in the Klan doesn't mean I like Donald Trump.
No, you know what it is? It's that just because I burn crosses. No, but it's also that I've never been one of those alarmists who've been like, Donald Trump is a literal fascist. And it's like, Donald Trump probably has fascist tendencies, but he's too fucking dumb and incapable. And all you fucking idiots who've been sitting there yelling that we democratically elected a fascist and we democratically elected him out of office negates the fact that he's a fucking, like, the opinion that he's a fascist.
Right. I mean, you'll
I've
be
just never
fully
been
right.
one of those people.
You'll be fully right when he's out of office, but I do agree that at this point I would say, yeah, he's going to leave office as soon as
He
they
might even
legally
get escorted.
certify.
I think it'd be great if he got escorted out. The thing that people don't appreciate enough about Trump is how much of a sham he's shown this whole process to be. Like, so much of like our electoral process relies on decorum, politeness, and when really all it is, it's a fucking ratings bonanza. You know
Which
what I mean?
also
Like,
translates to money, right?
right. If I had $1 billion, I would have ran for president this year just to show how many fucking votes I could have garnered by being fucking funny, staying on topic, being funny, and just saying appealing messages. Who gives a shit if I even go through with them?
Right.
Nobody even cares if Joe Biden is going to go through with most of what he said he's going to do.
Some
They just
people
want
might
Trump
argue
out.
that they care, but
Sure,
yeah.
sure. I mean, we all care. But I mean, like, but so many more people were just like, it's just important that it's not Trump, that they're willing to elect a virtual corpse.
That to me is, well, right. There are definitely some people where to me it's like if you're just looking at it as it's just important that it's not Trump, that's such an exploitable way of looking at it because somebody could literally be as bad or worse than Trump and they're just like, well, why don't I run against this guy Trump that everybody hates?
Exactly.
Not saying that that's the case, but it's just if your view is that myopic, it's very exploitable. If your reaction to anything is super predictable, where anything Trump does, you know to make sure to go on the opposite, it's just really easy for somebody to exploit that.
Yeah.
So, and also too, I knew it wasn't over. The guy said, he's like, I'm not going to leave peacefully. I'm going to do my best to like make sure that this is all fucked up. And then people are like, why aren't you happy? I'm like, it's not over. It's
Well,
not
that's
over.
one thing. I was like, I'm happy that he got voted out, quote unquote. But I was like, I'm not celebrating. My life is still in fucking shambles. I haven't had a job in 8 months.
Right.
Everything I care about is still closed. Like,
Yeah.
But Trump is gone.
yeah.
But you know what? You know where you know what? We drove through the city on Saturday, right? They're celebrating in Times Square, in the Upper East Side, in Union Square. You know where they weren't celebrating? Washington Heights, Harlem,
That's true, actually.
East Harlem,
Right.
the Marcy projects. They don't give a fuck because they know that shit ain't gonna change for them.
Nothing.
This was white people out celebrating solving white problems that white people created. I mean, who could be happy about that? Who could
White
sit there?
people.
Exactly.
Let them enjoy this, Derek.
Ignorant fucking white people. And then like one person who shall remain nameless was like, he's like, what about the kids in the cages? And I was like, the ones that have been there since Obama put them in fucking cages. The problems didn't start with Trump. They didn't start with Obama or even George W. Bush, although the most problems. That's the other thing, too, is like people are like, Trump's the worst president in history. George W. Bush is like silently closing the door with a smile going.
Right,
Like, yeah, I know. It's like, oh, you mean the guy who signed away all of our freedoms to the NSA and got us involved in the Iraq war at the behest of like an oil oligarch? Sure. He was like, just because he didn't, say he was gonna grab a bitch by the pussy. Like that gives him a free fucking pass.
You know
like,
what's funny? I'm such a like simpleton. And I was sitting with my friend and we were watching like the results, and we're both thinking about like what kind of trouble Trump's gonna cause while he's still before he gets out of office.
Oh,
and I was like, first thing I thought of was like,
who he pardons.
no, I bet you he gets I bet you he leaves like upper deckers in all the toilets in the back.
I love that that's where you go. I'm like, he's going to pardon Rittenhouse. He's going to pardon the Michigan kidnappers. He's going to bomb Palestine.
he's gonna let the air out of the
I
tires.
told you I'm just such a simpleton. Like really.
You're like, yeah, he's going to smash the tires and take a shit on the upper deck. I bet he's going to grease all the doorknobs in the White
Jerk
House.
off all over every piece of furniture. in
Seriously,
that fucking
Biden needs
place.
to go in there with a black light flashlight.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So also, but conversely, I am super happy that Biden is president because now in comedy there is no more punching down. And if you ever make jokes at somebody's expense or whatever, it's punching up at the dominant liberal paradigm that has overtaken the narrative. Now they're the ones in power, and now finally we can make.
You started him off.
Now we can finally make fucking jokes. I can't wait. I can't wait to follow some of these people.
Biden's been elected less than a week, and we're already doing Down's voice on the podcast.
I can't wait to follow on a show someone who, for the last 4 years, has just been leaning into
Can you believe
woke
this?
scolding.
Yeah.
Woke scolding is as bad as race baiting in
I don't think it's
comedy.
going to go away, though.
Oh, it will on my shows. Because I am going to fucking rip every one of those people apart. Like, I'm going to rip their sets apart. I'm going to fucking, I'm going to eviscerate them. I was doing that when Trump was in office. I'm not allowed on
But now you're
Fresh
doubling
Out
down.
anymore. Oh, yeah.
This is like the way racists were emboldened by Trump. You're emboldened by Biden. It's over. No more sensitivity just because Trump's in office.
Well, no, I mean, that was the thing. Is like, you couldn't even make a joke without somebody being like, you're part of the fucking problem.
Do you support Trump?
Do you
You criticize the Democratic Party in the media. That means you must be a Trump fan.
Wait a minute. You said all these rich white people in Park Slope are hypocrites? You
These
must
are-
be a Trump supporter.
Those rich white people are working hard to get Trump out of office.
Yeah.
You said you wanted to jerk off on someone's feet. You must be a Trump supporter. That's the difference in our jokes.
That's true.
Only
Anyways.
consenting feet. Jesus.
Anyway, so I mean, I just
How do feet consent exactly?
I'm just I'm a culture I'm a culture person. I'm obsessed with culture and like what certain things mean in culture and whatnot, and like I think that's what that means. We all know these terrible comedians and stuff like that, and we all know people who have gotten applause breaks because they'll say something that we all agree with, no matter if what side of the aisle you're on. You're like, black people matter. Like, of course black people fucking matter. And they're like during a comedy set and they want like an applause break for it or whatever.
Yeah, it'll be like
Oh my
the voice
God.
goes up. It's like because Black Lives Matter.
Exactly. Yeah.
And wait for it.
Right. Yeah. No nodding your head.
I will
Clap.
say
Clap.
there's something I like about it because some of my favorite types of jokes are where I set it up like that's what I'm gonna do, and then like double down on something awful to reverse it.
Yeah.
You know, so it does take away a thing that you can, what's the word? Subverse. You know, subvert.
Yeah. Like I know
Derek's so much smarter than he looks.
I know.
Just correcting.
Like I know
getting it.
Black Lives Matter because
You
I
said
can hear
myopic.
every
You're
one of
fine.
them in a movie theater.
Sorry.
It's a second language. English is a second language for me, so you know.
That's fine. We can edit out that joke you guys walked over.
Well,
Now go.
I'm sorry. I don't get very many, and I stuck mine in there because
No, it's probably actually for the best.
no.
that nobody
say
heard
it
that
now.
joke.
We want to hear it.
I
now.
know Black Lives Matter because I can hear every one of them in a movie theater.
Pretty good, worth repeating.
I like
but
it.
also
I
the
like it.
audience probably heard it the first time because we might miss each other, but the mics are pretty clear when you're
Yeah,
listening
no,
in
that's
there.
true.
So they heard you say it twice, and it might have not been so
Why don't
funny
you
to
say it
them
a
the
third
second
time?
time.
They're probably going to be like, all right, you are a Trump supporter. I mean, like, I just, I'm an Andrew Yang guy. I've never, and like, I know that it's not popular with everybody or whatever the case may be, that's fine. But I just was and no Democrat was excited for Joe Biden either. I can concede that. But it's not like everybody's like super happy or whatever, but you're just kind of like, you know, I don't know, like, do better, and then I'll be happier.
Well, here's what I said to because it's like, I'm happy that my friends are happy, and I always want that. But they're like, why aren't you happy? I was like, well, the dragon's been slayed, but the fucking castle is still fucking on fire, guys.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm like,
sure.
I'm not gonna. I can't celebrate when literally I'm on fire. Like,
I like it in interpersonal. Like, I'm happy my friends are happy, and I'm happy about aspects of it as well. But online, it's just, to me, some of the people I know that are the most vocal and activist and whatever are some of the people on a personal level that are just the shittiest human beings and terrible
Absolutely.
to other people. And
Absolutely.
it just creates this veil of like a uniform. And it's like the way a cop wears a uniform
Yep.
and expects a benefit of the doubt. It creates this online avatar uniform, and it's just like muddies the whole thing, where it creates this illusion over who's on what side. And I'm like, it just perverts all of that.
Yeah,
to me.
there was a comic who did Bushwick Bears years ago, and we'll never have them back. And they posted, you know, they've been posting through this whole fucking thing or whatever about what a good person, like what good decisions they're making and how they're helping democracy and everything of that nature. And they're the worst person interpersonally. They're not a good person.
Names.
No, I'm not
No,
gonna. I'm not gonna give this
don't
person.
do
I
that.
just joke. It was a
Yeah,
joke.
yeah,
yeah.
They both looked at me so serious, guys.
But I know what. But I know
I
what
was
you
just
mean.
joking.
I know.
Like, I mean, okay, to show the uniformity thing, I went to Catholic church and Catholic school and everything. We talked about this before on
Another
the podcast.
uniform, yeah.
Another uniform
Priest.
where like a priest is raping kids, but he's in the uniform, and anybody who sees him goes, oh, he must be a good guy because he's a priest.
Yeah, no, you know, that's an interesting point, because it's also like self-fulfilling prophecy. It's not just that a shitty person will exploit these things to make themselves look better, but there's actually a feedback loop where if a person does that enough and sees themselves as defined by their activism, they see themselves as permanently defined as doing good and on the good side. And that's also like a way that people's, like, that applies in general to a lot of things. When you see yourself as permanently on the side of the good or on the side of the victims, you're more likely to put other people into a victimized situation and just not realize it, because you've permanently placed yourself as like, I'm the good guy, I'm the activist,
Right,
or I'm the victim,
right.
or whatever it is.
Who was? Oh, yeah, because my wife was asking me. She was asking me about Joe Rogan, and her and I have a friend who has all these crazy conspiracies about. He's a Democrat and has all these crazy conspiracies that Joe Rogan is owned by the Russian mafia, right? And which, okay. What, and that like he also thinks Andrew Yang is also owned by the Russian mafia, and I'm
Right.
What state is Andrew Yang from?
Who, what?
What state did he?
New York.
Is New York? Okay.
Yeah. He lives in the city. But he's moved to Georgia to help flip the Senate. Anyways, and so you know, and so then my wife so this person is posting like Joe Rogan is a fucking, you know, whatever, blah blah blah, and he's a right wing person and whatnot. And then she's asking me, she's like, is he right wing or whatever? I'm like, the person I listen to, I've only ever heard, like, really listened to lengthy interviews with Bernie, Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard, fucking all these Pete Buttigieg or whoever, all these left-leaning people through Joe Rogan's podcast.
Right.
I generally don't listen to the Navy SEAL guys or the gun guys because I've already lived that like life and experience. Yeah. I don't need to, you know. And she was like, "Well, you had Alex Jones on." I was like, "Yeah, with a fact checker." And Alex Jones.
Also, that episode fucking rocked. The
Yeah.
latest one.
Yeah.
It was
Also-
really fun. It was really enjoyable.
Also,
Alex
too-
Jones is a fucking lunatic.
I
so
forgot
think it
how
would be
enjoyable
fun.
he is to listen to. I
Also,
like
too,
him.
Alex Jones was the guy saying, "Hey, there are billionaires flying on a plane to a private island to fuck kids."
That's
Right.
true.
And he's
He
not
says,
fucking wrong.
He says crazy shit,
was-
but
I
it's
mean,
because he's
he's-
going out on a limb like that all the time.
Well, and Alex Jones was a quote unquote like radio personality journalist for what, over 20 years.
Yeah, he
And-
was anti-Bush,
and
he
he's
was
just-
anti-Bush. He said, "If we
Yeah.
elect Bush, we'll go to war."
And
he
he's
was
just
an anti-establishment person.
yeah, he's gotten a little more intense over the years.
I think it's just gotten to where if you're anti-establishment and not like obviously towards like socialism, you get pushed to being seen as right wing because there's just it's hard to put him in a
yeah,
frame.
no, for sure. And that's why I think it's funny that people would call Joe Rogan right wing, you know.
Yeah,
I
he's
mean, 'cause
kind of
he has
all over the
guns.
place.
And he
lived
He's a bro.
But
he
he's
looks
also
like
like
a
the bro.
But he's
a
also
bro.
like for Medicare for all and for legal weed and like I'm sure he gives a shit ton of money to fucking charities.
A
and
bunch
stuff
of
like
different
that.
shit, I'm sure.
Yeah.
No, it's
And, like,
it is because it's something that I think we've talked about even on here. He's a big personal freedoms guy, and a lot of the crazy right wing people also are that.
Well, a lot of that ideology stems from like primarily valuing individual freedom. Yeah.
And a lot of far left people, like especially the ones in comedy,
I
want
was
to
just
be
gonna say
issued
that.
khakis and given a box of supplies, to live on once a week or whatever.
Everyone's interchangeable and everyone
Yeah.
consensually
Well,
fucks
it's like
everyone.
their
but
comedy
You know
is.
what it is? You know what it is about social media that always drives me crazy, and it stems to like what you're saying about like there's other people that are always the activists, or like everyone on the internet's a tough guy. But then you actually meet a tough guy, or you meet someone who's actually on the ground doing the work,
Right.
and you see their social media presence as opposed to these other people. It looks a lot different.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
much more humble online.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's something about that, and it's just I don't know.
It's
There-
also just unhealthy because people who I see have like what looks like fucking wars between each other on Twitter. I've seen those people in person be like actually nice people also
Yeah.
and just be like normal to each other, but it just allows you to dehumanize the other person and just go nuts with it.
It's real easy to say "fuck you" to someone behind a keyboard than to say it to their face.
And you're
Yeah.
performing. It's literally for an audience. It's
Yeah.
literally anytime someone tries to have a regular conversation on one of those things, with few exceptions, I'm like, both of y'all are crazy. Like, what are you doing this for? You cannot solve or communicate with people with both of you knowing that it's for an audience. Like, that's just not how human interaction
that's
works.
all that shit is anymore. And it's just like I try not to really fuck with it too much anymore because it's poisonous.
I like
Although
it
I
as long
post
as
that
you're
anyway.
aware that you're performing and don't pretend that you're not
Oh,
performing.
I don't engage with anybody on that shit at
Right.
all, And I also got yelled at for I make too many jokes that blur the line. I'm like, that's what I do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
That's
I'm
your
also
brand.
Yeah, not even just so much that's who I am as a person because not everybody is 100% bad all the time.
I try to be.
It's impossible. Like even Charles Manson, is probably like
A real romantic once
He
in a
was
while.
a romantic.
he was vegetarian, wasn't he?
a singer. A good
Hitler
singer
was
too.
vegetarian, if we're going to go
Exactly.
that far.
And he's never. And that's the worst thing he ever did.
If you were a cow, they prefer Hitler to most of us.
Yeah.
You know? If you're a cow or a pig or, they would like Hitler more than me. What am I going to do about that? He tried to genocide my ancestors, but if you're a cow, then my ancestors are the bad guys.
I think I made, and here's to that credit. I think I made a joke. I forgot. I was like, I go after both sides, which doesn't sit well with my conservative friends. But it's like, Republicans don't ever want to fund the arts, but they always forget that Hitler was a painter. It's like,
If you just gave him that.
no, I mean, it's like, come on, guys, your hero is an artist, whatever. Anyways.
Oh, I see where you're going with it.
But what
It's
I'm
not
sa-
believable enough that you would think Hitler was a right-wing hero. It just doesn't fit.
Yeah, it's true. Well, it wasn't directed at me myself necessarily. That's why I don't do political shit.
Are we?
I've written one good political joke.
You
in my
do political
entire-
rants literally all the time and jokes,
Like,
and they're
Not
good.
on
Often.
Facebook. Yeah, but that doesn't count. No, I looked through all my Facebook shit. It's mainly somebody pointed it out to me and they said, all you do is pick apart comedy and still get booked. And I'm like, all right, I guess that's a compliment. But like, I just like.
You have some pretty tight jokes on there.
You got a couple
Not
good
not
ones,
to
yeah.
get your ego inflated.
Anyways, no, it's just like highlighting.
Start
all
calling yourself a genius again.
the dumb shit.
Are
I am genius.
are we allowed to talk about what we have going on?
Oh yeah, we should.
Yeah,
we probably
we should end on a happier note.
You know,
yeah.
honestly, I think what we should do is maybe put it in the beginning of the podcast. I think we should record like an opening, the way people record openings.
Well,
Okay, cool.
let's talk about it now, like we just did the cold opening with it.
Yeah.
And then put it
So we do have a show. We have
We got a live show.
a live show, guys.
Live show, November 19th.
So it's going to be a week from when this is released. So this comes out this Thursday.
Is this Thursday
It will come out on Thursday, the 12th.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Sorry.
November 19th.
This month is flying by already.
And November 19th.
It's been a real lightning rod since I voted for Trump. And
It's been a rough week and a half.
Did you guys hear that though? Bushwick Bears
sorry, yeah,
back
yeah.
live in person, November 19th. Where at? Are we allowed
at
to
the
say
tiny cupboard.
Tiny
At Tiny
cupboard?
Cupboard.
Yeah, we're allowed to say because it's on the roof.
Yeah,
Okay.
8 p.m. on the roof. It's like, I think 50 people max. It's a big roof. It's socially distanced. It's all the shit that you need to hear to make it sound like everyone's being a good person and you won't kill your grandma. We just said it all. Let's just skip that part.
Yeah, we're gonna put an Eventbrite link out for tickets.
Yeah.
We have
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so tickets are gonna go on sale probably the day this comes out.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
No,
that sounds
today's
about right.
Tuesday.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Tuesday. So yeah.
So Thursday.
yeah.
So Thursday, November 12th, we'll put some tickets online. Like I said, it's a small. We only have a limited number of tickets, but
It's
you guys
only
should
50
come.
tickets. Yeah, we're gonna have a hot
gonna be fucking
lineup. We
awesome.
haven't confirmed anybody.
It's gonna, it's
Nope.
it,
We haven't
anybody,
we haven't confirmed
anybody
everybody.
that knows us knows it's gonna be fucking
It's
awesome.
You're
gonna
not
be
coming
very
for the
good.
comics. You're coming for us.
It's true.
No, I'm just kidding.
But
You're
who
coming for the
knows
comics.
who'll
No,
be there?
Yeah.
Could be anybody. Everyone's desperate for shows.
Well,
right
no.
now.
By the
We can
time
get
they
anybody.
hear this, they will know.
Yeah.
So
Man, I don't know. We're gonna fight about it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
we're gonna have a great. It's gonna be.
We're gonna have a great lineup. No women.
all straight white men.
All straight white men.
now that Biden's
now that
back,
Biden's elected,
comedy
we can
lineups
just
are
do
going
whatever
back.
we want.
That was another criticism. I'm still not over all this. Where I heard my wife was telling my mother-in-law that I don't have any black friends, or I think it was gay, maybe it's gay friends. I was like, I'm like black friends. I'm like, I think I only have black friends outside of the Bushwick Bears. Like
She should have seen what we did in your living room that day. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. She will see that sketch coming out soon. But yeah. And I'm like, I'm the one who books all the black people for.
Hey, don't blow up me. And
I know, right? I would have booked Drexen as well. It
Not
was great.
confirmed.
I
Not
did.
confirmed.
Oh yeah. Well,
Anyways, but yeah, and it's like I'm the one who performs in Harlem.
So
I never
really,
get booked
I love when Derek, like, I don't know if people listening to the podcast can tell yet, but whenever Derek says like he got into an argument or someone said something about his comedy or anything, it's always just something his wife said.
Yeah, actually, that might be true. I was trying to think about that for
Like
a minute.
everyone else everyone else likes Derek.
we should
and
have
loves
her
his
as a
comedy.
guest on the podcast.
Oh my God, that would be great. Would
You
she
think
be
she
on
would
it?
do that?
You know what? We should have her on as a guest when there's a bunch of other, was like during a live show, so they can all yell at her and correct her when she has all these bad assumptions about who I am publicly and interpersonally.
We're gonna try to make that happen, guys. We're gonna try to get Derek's wife as a guest.
We'll
on the podcast.
we'll do a petition. Sign a
I'm
petition.
gonna call her. I haven't text her right now.
All right, go for it.
That would
I
be
don't
so
care.
fun. Couples
I-
therapy
I,
with Boris and Jericho.
Well, she's got to clear it with me. The husband of the
Oh man,
marriage.
you guys, this has been a really great podcast. I'm glad we did this.
It was a fun time.
I was so
Yeah.
tired today. I'm glad we made this happen.
Yeah, I had a long day. I've been up. This daylight savings has fucked me up, especially like not having comedy or things to do.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I gotta sit in my living room. It was like 5 o'clock. Like, I can't believe I've been fucking stoned for 12 hours already.
That's what's fucking
Why am
up
I
your
so
day.
tired?
You
I've
waked
been
and
so
baked.
stoned.
I wish I might do that for Veterans Day tomorrow.
Oh yeah, happy Veterans
You
Day.
deserve
bud.
it. Oh,
Thank
happy
you for your
Veterans
service.
Day,
thanks.
Derek.
Yeah,
Thank you
fuck
for your
off.
service, Derek.
You get free pancakes in my kitchen.
Oh, you know what? Fuck, where do I get free food tomorrow?
There's some places.
Yeah, you gotta go to
Yeah.
like an IHOP
I gotta
or
find a
Friendly's
Denny's or something.
Yeah.
or- I'm gonna just go to the bodega.
I'm a veteran.
Hey, Ock. Get a bacon and cheese. Flash my fucking VA prescription pill. I'll trade you some perks.
You gotta like get breakfast at a Marriott or something.
Yeah, I did do that. You know what? I did that once with Jess. We were at a Denny's, and they gave me a veterans discount. No, it was we were on tour.
Oh,
I think we were.
that does sound familiar.
I think I did it when we were on tour, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll take the veterans discount." 50 fucking. It should have been free, but
Yeah, I mean 50% still.
no, 50% still great.
50% is not nothing to laugh at.
The thing I'm mad. Oh yeah,
You were in the Navy.
It would have been
yeah.
free, but the chef was also a veteran, so they split
Yeah,
the
yeah,
difference
yeah,
between your pay.
That joke made me laugh.
that. Well, the thing is with being a veteran is you're not supposed to actually ask for stuff.
You're supposed to be humble.
Yeah, it's supposed to be humble, and I am. I really just use this as comedy fodder.
I know he's been saying he doesn't talk about being a veteran as comedy for 4 years.
But my Venmo is at Hump Derek. I will gladly take money for your freedom. Then I'm just kidding.
He's
Anyways.
like the vegan of being a veteran.
Let's get out of here so we can record the beginning of the podcast.
Perfect.
You got it. Hell yeah.